Alright. Hello, everyone. May Anastasia here. This is a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm not going to lie. It's been a series in my bucket list that I've been wanting to do, which is just having 15 minutes to talk to you guys about what's been going on with my life, what interests have caught my eye, and such. Just kind of talking to you all and giving you a peek into what goes on in my mind. And such. Just a little like cozy little chat time by the window and such like that. So, I'm gonna put 15 minutes on the timer just to remind myself and stuff. This is mostly unedited, and I'm just gonna be rambling about it and such. So, one of the things that has caught my eye recently, of course, and promptly timed with this video, was the release of the 6 love interests for Love Deepspace. And for those who don't know, Love Deepspace is a 3D gacha dating sim game targeted towards women with male characters who often peak at different interests that women are interested in terms of character archetypes. And one of the things that made me so curious about why people are so drawn into it is that there's always this need that an individual wants out of a partner, out of their life in general, and they just feel closely attached to it, to Love and Deepspace. And that's the thing. I'm deeply frustrated by how closed-minded some people could be when they quickly will judge something and say that they dislike something, and not because they understand it, but they'll judge it quickly because they do not understand it. And that's the thing. I am not one to say give everything a chance, because there are certain things that you don't exactly need to give a chance, but the characters that is Love and Deepspace, again, it's a very harmless topic and a harmless game that doesn't really require you to invest too much into it. Yeah, your time, but that's a different thing. You always have to invest your time into something to try something out. And with Love and Deepspace, it's deeply affecting for the people who play it, because I've made friendships with people who like Love and Deepspace, and they always kind of talk very fondly about the characters. And even if we don't share the same bond of who is the best love interest and such like that, again, opinions are opinions, I always find myself wondering why people judge others based on who they fan over and such. Because not just Love and Deepspace, but anime characters, video game characters, idols even, and such like that, certain celebrities and the like. People are very quick to judge and hurt each other based on what their interests are. And it's kind of upsetting, because I see people just wanting to connect. They connect either with the character that is of topic, or with other people who also love the character. And even so, with Love and Deepspace in this case, I may be one of the few people, if not the only person, that deeply loves Zane. Zane is, yes, he is on a lot of people's leaderboards. Out of my friends, though, they tend to not really want Zane. They want more expressive characters, more interesting, in-depth characters and such like that, or in a sense, more adventurous characters, such as I have a friend respectively who likes Raphael and another friend who likes Caleb. As much as I'd like to say my choices are between Zane and Silas, clearly two very polar opposites in terms of safety and comfort and such, there is this level of wants and needs that are getting addressed for me with the characters and stuff. Feeling seen, not really judged, and loved and cared for by the character who in a sense, doesn't really see anything wrong with me and sees me as not exactly perfect, but human in a sense. And it's weird because there are people who are very quick, and not to say to certain Love Deepspace people, I've met wonderful people with Love and Deepspace, but people from the outside tend to be very quick and say, oh, this is weird and such. And it upsets me, not in a sense towards anger, but in disappointment that there are people who do not want to see others enjoy themselves. It's very upsetting to see that, because why should we shame others from liking what they like? Or even so, when I look at Zayn, I see a character who is deeply flawed, deeply wanting to show expression of love, especially because with his backstory as Dawnbreaker, he is not allowed to, in multiple storylines in the cards that he has, he's not allowed to have love. And that's why I feel so deeply for him, more than anything. Like, yes, I do like Silas. Silas is very much my kind of junk food love interest that I also care deeply for, but there's just this other level of deep care that I have for Zayn, who I want to give love very deeply because I connect with him in a way that, and this is a little TMI and such like that, I also felt hurt of not feeling like I was able to be allowed love, allowed friendship, and the like. There's a really old video, and again, choose if you do or don't want to, which is my first animated story time and first time I really opened myself up on the channel that talked about my trauma. And in that, I talked about how I wasn't really allowed outside assistance until I had to leave that relationship. And then when I see Zayn makes me feel as though I want to connect and reach out. And I feel as though, and I can't vouch for my friends per se, they feel the same way about it with their love interest. Especially because with Caleb, for example, Caleb has not been allowed to love who he would like to love. Especially, he hasn't been allowed to reach out because it's been forbidden in a sense. For Raphael has wanted to love the people that he wanted to love, but it would be stripped away from him. And that's the thing. I think that's a connecting bond to everybody, is that you want to love, you want to be loved, and you want to be allowed to love. And I say this to anyone who is listening to this, even by a small chance, that you should be allowed to love. Love characters, love video games, love passions, love others, even if it's platonic. You should be allowed to show love, kindness, and even more so, you should be allowed to be open-minded. But you should not close off options. You should not be allowed, in a sense, to not give permission to someone. Because that's the thing. When you close off doors, more doors unwillingly close off from you without you knowing or trying. If it's a harmless idea, a harmless interest, there's no reason why you shouldn't just hear them out. And again, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out for you, that's fine. You didn't invest too much time into it, you gave it a shot, and you know yourself fully that it's not for me. Very much the same for me with other characters, other games that I've tried, and it just wasn't for me. But I gave it a shot. I'm never going to shame someone from liking things, from wanting things, and for wanting to show things that they love to others. But I would be upset, in a sense, that you have to feel like you have to hide it and such. I would like to send a task to all of you in a way, is to talk about something that you love. It could be a character, it could be a video game, a hobby, a friend that you love even platonically. How much you would like to express of that, and put it in the comments, because I love hearing others show love for the things that they do. And it's always a pleasure to even just be on the consideration of some of y'all listening. So I believe that's my time, and thank you again. I do hope you enjoyed these little chat, and who knows, maybe we'll do another one soon, semi-regularly. Let me know if this audio is to your liking, and until next time, thank you.